NBA Straya, how are you going? Hang on, you right? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Monday, June 16. And we have a Game 5 tomorrow. And it's trade season already. That's right, I'm your host, James Clements, here in Larry Armour Studios for a Chockers NBA Straya Game 5 preview because Desmond Bane was traded to Orlando this morning. I've got a couple of thoughts about that. And we've got our big Game 5 preview for you as well today. So, not a long episode, I hope, but it will be full of very fun stuff. So, we might just throw a couple of little yeah-nahs in there at the end as well. So, I don't know, there's just lots to dig into. So without further ado, let's just bloody well get started. It's episode 1289 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gay.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack!
Oh, you better. Well, you better watch out for the attack of community spirit. Oh, how good was Community Cup yesterday, Jim? Really fucking awesome. He says, answering a question that no one asked. That's right, I usually have a bit of a whinge each show. But today's is quite simply my foot's a bit sore. So you might know I've been doing a bunch of rehab on my giant bloody, bone spur in my Achilles, which is just horrible, and Achilles tendinopathy. So rehabbing that with the physio, what apparently is not recommended is to spend a lot of your Sunday kicking the footy with your squid. Had a great time though, went to Community Cup, go the Rock Dogs, that was fantastic. Great win, awesome day, just at Victoria Park, watching the footy and sinking a millinty beers. To the point where you have that moment of like, I'm just here with my 6-year-old son. So the eldest squid, he's having a great time. Loves the footy, loves the Community Cup, loves the vibe of the place. And you just have that moment of like, how many times have I been to the bar? And end up at like, the game is over watching Spider Bait. The squid's just like, Dad, I want to go. And I'm like, not until they've played Old Man Sam. And they played Old Man Sam and kicked ass, and then I'm like, I got to get him moving. He's going to go get some tucker into him and then go home and go to bed. But yeah, get back to we go for a walk, meet up with a mate of mine who gave us a lift home. Appreciate that, Joshy. A couple of tins at the pub as well, and I'm like, hang on a second. Jeez. I've been doing a fair amount of day drinking here, and now it's night time. Jeez. So your old mate Jim was not steaming, but just like, all right, luckily I'm not driving, so it's all good, but goddamn, had a few too many, I reckon. Woke up a little bit dusty today. But anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Australia with a daily whip around, and we got a massive trade. That's right, so I woke up a bit dusty. Usually the baby squid's up and about somewhere between 6 and 6:30. And he slept in today. I woke up, look at my phone, and go, oh, God, Desmond Bane has been traded. What the hell? That's right, Desmond Bane is off to the Orlando Magic. And what a trade it is. This is Desmond Bane going to the Orlando Magic in exchange for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the notorious KCP, Us Cole Anthony, and 4 first-round picks. Jeez, Jim, and a swap. 4 first-rounders and a swap, which is, on the face of it, an absolute fucking shit ton to get in return for Desmond Bane. It's also a lot to give up for Desmond Bane. But then you sort of just kick the tires on it for a second, and I'll tell you what, I fucking love it for Orlando. Right? The East is a mess. Like, this is a fuck it, we're going for it move. And he is the exact player, well, the exact type of player that the Orlando Magic needed. It's the sort of dude they lacked. He's like one of 3 dudes since 2020, is Bane, with, over 800 made threes and is shooting over 40%. There's only 3 dudes since 2020 that has done that. He's one of them. He shot 43.2% on catch and shoot threes the last 5 years. That's the 3rd best amongst anybody with like 1,000 attempts apparently, which is awesome because you think about the way the Magic is set up. Just think about it for 1 second. You've got Bala Bancaro, Manchon Bancheros. You've got Franz Wagner, hello. You will have Jalen Suggs returning. And an absolute fucking dearth of A, point guardery, and B, 3-point shooting. Desmond Bane is not a point guard. Jalen Suggs isn't really a point guard. Paolo Banchero is kind of a point forward. So is kind of Franz Wagner. The thing is, you just plug and play a little bit of Desmond Bane with all those 3 bombs. That extra bit of playmaking that he does give you, however, because he averaged, 19, 6, and 5 last year. And that's exactly the sort of player that if you can't just go out and get a fucking gun point guard, if you're the Magic, this is the ideal sort of dude, right? Like the, break in case of emergency playmaking. He can play off Paolo, play off Franz. When they get into trouble, he's a release valve. You put him next to them as well, and he can shoot the piss out of it. I fucking love it. He's only 26 as well. So, yeah, it's a young team, that Orlando Magic team, but he's also pretty fucking young. Built like a bowling ball as well. So, you get the shooting and the playmaking without needing the ball, which is good because Paolo, Franz, they need the ball in their hands a bunch on offense. That's fine. And he also keeps moving the ball. That's what Desmond Bane does. And you're only sort of giving up. So 3 of your own picks, which are presumably, if you're going to be good in this shitty East for like the next 5 years, probably not lottery picks. This year is definitely not. That's number 16 that they're giving up. And then it's 28 and 30. The 26 pick in there as well is one from Phoenix. And that's a weird fucking swap, swap, kind of fucking pick, as there's so many of them are now. And then the other one is like the swap that they could have in 2029, which, if you're good, and who knows what the fuck's going to be going on in 2029, still, you're hedging your bets. You're kind of like, screw it, I think we'll be pretty good. Now we've actually got a player who really fits our team. And considering that you shot a league worst 32% from downtown this season, Orlando, getting a dude who's like a career 40% shooter, that's fucking good. I don't know what happened to the KCP we saw like up until last year. He went completely MIA because he wasn't playing with Nikola Jokic. Looked just like the KCP that was like, a bit shit prior to playing on Denver. He was all right on the Lakers, but still. But catch and shoot and backup playmaking, that's what you get to put next to Bada, Franz, and Suggs. I kind of love it. Obviously, giving up the 2026 Phoenix pick is a bit of a... That's probably the biggest prize in this one, I guess, because you don't know what the fuck's going to happen with Phoenix in the next couple of years. Matt Ishbia, off his rocker, who knows what's going to go. But there you go. I love it. I think, the Magic shot 32% from 3 last year and shot only 26% from 3 in the playoffs. Fucking horrible, right? So they sort of try to fix that a little bit. Defensively, look, Bane next to Suggs, it'll be a little bit interesting, but I feel like it's a better fit than Jar and Bane. But either way. And you can sort of see why Memphis went, right, defensively, we're just a little bit suspect with this backcourt of Jar and Bane. Suggs and Bane, maybe a little bit better, just saying. Money-wise, this is now 4 players making more than 32 mil for the Magic, and people will be like, oh, wow, they can't sustain that. The weird thing is, they have smaller year-on-year raises, do these Magic players, on these big contracts. I think Suggs starts at the highest point and goes down, which is pretty crazy. And I think the last year of Bane's current contract, which averages out to another 4 years, 40 mil per year, I think they'd be in the last year of his contract in 28-29. That's when they'd hit the repeater tax, right? it gives you a lot of time to sort of like duck under things, figure out what apron you can happily sit at, all this sort of stuff. And you'll have the salary cap going up by 10% each year, basically, right, under the new media rights deal. So I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about Orlando going kind of all in, because you fucking look at the East next year and go, shit, are we better than Cleveland?
Cleveland!
Are we better than the Knicks? Are we better than the Pacers? Fuck, maybe. Like, you're a top 4 East team, basically, with Boston without Tatum next year, I reckon. So why the fuck not? They've gone out and tried to, like, you know, fix what ailed them, and that's good. For Memphis, look, paying 3 dudes for them is a little bit different than Orlando. Both fairly small markets, but I feel like Orlando has deeper pockets than the Grizzlies. And the key thing is Memphis play in the West. It feels like Memphis looked around and went, wow, man, so you've got Wembanyama over there on the Spurs, about to be a juggernaut. You've got Cooper Flagg joining Kyrie and AD. Holy shit, how is the West going to be deeper next year? Right? And yeah, when all of their dudes were healthy in Memphis, they look fucking pretty bloody good at times, right? They're winning 1 million games. They're these second seeds time and time again. They win their first actual playoff series since 2015, a couple of years ago. And they also looked at the fucking lay of the land and went, hang on a second, we can get 4 firsts, a couple of role players, and a swap for Desmond Bane. Fucking sure. Why not? I kind of find this interesting now that they go, well, do we trade Ja? Do we trade Jaren Jackson Jr.? Probably not, is my guess. I feel like it's them sort of just doing a bit of finagling around the edges of the finances and going, right, well, we've got to pay Triple J with his extension. Ja is the face of our franchise and we fucking love him. How do we actually make this coalesce into something greater? And Taylor Jenkins, I thought, did a great fucking job of that up until he didn't, and they tuned him out and he got fired. And so now they've got like a very inexperienced head coach. They've got Ja Morant. Just fucking stay healthy for 1 year, Ja. That's all we ask. You've got Triple J possibly about to get a big pay packet. And you're sort of looking at it going, well, we've got Zach Edey. We've put a lot of eggs in our Zach Edey basket. We can't afford Bane. Let's get as many picks as we can now, and we'll try to rejig this one. It makes a lot of sense for Memphis. Basketball-wise, I don't think they'll be as good. But who fucking knows? Ja could be absolutely incredible next year and play up to that sort of MVP level we kind of expect. Triple J could go and win Defensive Player of the Year, right? These are the things that are on the table. Do they have enough role players around those guys to actually really sort of push them over the top? Can they get a little bit more oomph from the rest of that roster? It kind of feels unlikely in this loaded fucking West, but they just got a shit ton of picks, gave themselves a lot more optionality, and I don't know. Maybe they'll set Ja and Triple J up to 6-8 a little bit more. Don't know. As for Triple J, would they trade him? Yeah, nah. I don't think so. I think their plan is to pay Triple J. I think they know that defensively his versatility is really, really good. He's been better on offense the last 18 months. And it just sort of feels weird about like where would he land and who are you going to get in return that could feasibly be better? It's a bit tricky, right? The same thing goes for Ja. Would they trade Ja Morant? Yeah, nah. What are you going to do? Are Brooklyn going to throw absolutely fucking everything at Ja Morant and just go, no, we want Ja Morant. Here's all of our picks. It's like, that's how you got in this fucking mess in the first place, Brooklyn. What are you doing? Don't do it again. And then you sort of look at the other places out there, like what, Toronto? Are they going to go after Ja or Triple J? New Orleans? That would be pretty fun. Put Ja and Zion on the same team. Love that. Maybe there's like a team like Portland with a bunch of different moving parts. Do they want a Triple J? They've already got 40 centers. Would he be able to play next to like Klingon or something like that? It's just, I don't know. It sort of feels that Memphis ought to value Triple J more than other teams. And I don't know if other teams really value him as much as he ought to be valued, right? It's a weird sort of mix. Whereas Ja is a superstar, but he just hasn't taken that leap of like, this is my fucking team, this is my league, because he's too busy shooting guns and being a dipshit. Right? Anthony Edwards is like, dude, you make some bad decisions. So anyway, look, I think Memphis probably take a step back, obviously, without Desmond Bane this year, but they have a couple of veteran role players. They've got a shit ton of picks now. Gives themselves a little bit of optionality. Zach Edey being injured to start the season probably is a bit of a kick in the dick, but I don't know. Maybe this is the year that Memphis just goes, maybe we'll bottom out one more time. Maybe. You know, they got Zach Edey last time, dealing with injuries and shit. But at the same time, who knows what's going to happen in the West, right? Punches chances. Could you make, the playoffs make a second round? I don't know. It's so deep, though. Could there be more moves coming? Yeah, I think there's actually got to be more moves coming anyway, because I think they added money out of all of this. But so I reckon they'll probably do something else, probably something small, and then we'll go from there. Right. Huge trade. Desmond Bane. Love it for Orlando. Memphis, they sold pretty high. You got 4 firsts. It's kind of pretty good, I think, on both counts. Other news. As soon as I saw the trade alert, I was like, oh my God, it's Kevin Durant. No, it's not Kevin Durant just yet. Apparently for KD, his preferred destinations are Miami and San Antonio and Houston. There's a correlation across all 3 of those teams, and it's no state tax. KD's like, want to keep my money. Thing is, so those are KD's preferred trade destinations, and remember, the Suns have absolutely zero compunction to trade him where the fuck he wants to go. So, I love the way this has been framed. It's like people across the NBA have been made aware in recent days that those are the 3 teams he would commit to with a long-term extension. KD's 37. He's not going to sign a 5-year fucking deal. Who cares? Long term, basically, it's like, because he's got this expiring $5.7 million deal this year, he can sign a 2-year, $120 million extension wherever he lands. And the Suns have just gone, that's cool. We're still going to send you wherever we get the best deal, right? Which makes fucking sense. So apparently there's 6 to 8 seriously interested teams in Kevin Durant. They'll make the best deal for the franchise, even if KD's pissed about where he lands. I still think KD's going to be like, all right, cool. I'd rather go here. But if I've got a shot at winning, like, they're not going to send him to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. But KD, Heat, that is such a fucking shit sideways move. The Heat suck. Like, what does did KD put them over the top? No. Like, you've got Tyler Hero, Desmond Bane, Bam, Adebayo, and very fucking little else on that team, right? It's brutal. So, I don't know. Spurs Rockets makes a little bit more sense because they are loaded for bear and they're young. But otherwise, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Will he be happy where he lands? The answer is no. There is one hell of a malcontent. A bloke who loves playing basketball but is never fucking happy playing basketball where he is. The Kevin Durant story. Other news. Houston signed Steven Adams, bro. Oh, bro. I signed a 3-year, $39 million extension, bro. It was really good, eh? The extension is really, really fun because I get paid for a little bit longer. And I really, really like playing in Houston, bro. So that's kind of cool. The one thing now for Houston is Fred VanVleet's $44.9 million team option. So there's apparently mutual interest on a reunion and him coming back next year. They're going to make a decision on that by June 29. So we'll see what happens there with the Houston Rockets. And finally, the Knicks coaching search. It's still going on. After getting knocked back by every chick at the bar, every coach out there in the association, the Knicks are apparently meeting with Mike Brown. You might remember him from getting fired everywhere he's gone before. And Taylor Jenkins, the aforementioned former Memphis Grizzlies coach. I actually really fucking like Taylor Jenkins. Knicks, do the right thing. Go get Taylor Jenkins. Go on, do it. Right, and that's all the news. Big trade. I reckon we'll have, with the draft in about a week and a bit's time, we will have a couple of big trades still before then, I reckon. I reckon KD gets, actually moved before the actual draft happens. you sort of think about the other teams at the top of the draft boards. Like you think about San Antonio at number 2. Dylan Harper's the obvious choice there for them. Are they in the sweepstakes for any other teams? What are we going to do? Who knows? It's going to be awesome. So there's going to be lots of moving parts. Right. Otherwise, let's do it. Do you want to do a Game 5 preview? Hell yeah. Let's do it. Game 5 preview. Thanks, inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. I just got traded. Did you, Desmond? Did you? I love all the pictures of Desmond Bane as well because he's so buff. I am bloody huge. He's so buff and he's so small. Just a wee fella. The baby squid loves it when I call him the little fella. He's like, oh, I am a little fella. It's like, yes, you are, buddy. You are. I don't think Desmond Bane would appreciate it being called a little fella. Anyway, Game 5 preview for tomorrow. 10:30 Tuesday morning, Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Indiana visiting OKC, where the Thunder are 9.5-point favorites at home, which makes sense. Because what do? When they play at home, Jim, they usually fucking smash teams. Right? So they're 8-3 against the line so far these playoffs at home, the Thunder. So 8-3, it's pretty good. They're only 4-3, however, when it's like a line that's 9.5 or more. So pretty interesting. So it goes, from 8-3 to 4-3 when it's a line that big. But we have, as I've mentioned time and time again, OKC do love to fucking smash teams. So who knows? But the Pacers defense has been fantastic all finals long. It's in Game 4 specifically. We broke that all down on Saturday's show. Completely discombobulated the OKC offense until the final stretch of the game where OKC's defense just completely obliterated the Pacers offense and they scored 1 point in the final 3 minutes 20. Gross, right? So it sort of has this moment of like, all right, well, OKC hit 3 total fucking threes in Game 4. Does this flip? Do they suddenly hit a bunch more threes? We know that Indiana's really good at covering those threes and strangulating that part of your offense. But OKC, the regression to the mean means they probably hit some threes. And if they do, this could get pretty ugly pretty quickly. But the Pacers, look, with that 9.5-point line, as 9.5-point underdogs, the Pacers are 5-0, just winning after a loss during this playoff run. They've not lost 2 in a row. They're also 5-0 against the line coming off a loss. So, just saying. They've also gone 4-1 with the overs and the unders after a loss. 4-1. So, essentially, they lose and they go, fucking hell, let's kick this into gear, and they score a shit ton in the next game. Will that happen, though, when this Game 5 is on the road against the best defense in the NBA? Yeah, it gets pretty hard, right? So 223.5 points is the over-under. The line is 9.5. This is obviously the lowest total over-under as well, 223.5 for the series. I think it's gone 1-3 so far. We picked the under last game. That hit. But we obviously had the Pacers, what was it, plus 6.5 by the end of it in Game 4. And thanks a lot to Benny Mathurin for just fouling away from the ball before the ball was fucking inbounded and just gifting the Oklahoma City Thunder 2 points out of absolutely fucking nowhere for no reason. You idiot. You're breaking my heart, but still. Anyway, it is a weird sort of mix of trends and what could happen and where we've seen OKC just obliterate teams in big spots and just really whomp them. But then they've also had a couple of really close games. Like you think about Game 4 against the Wolves, right, where they win by 2. Absolute hair on your chest sort of game. You think about some of those Denver games where they just sort of eke out like a 5 or a 7-point win, that sort of stuff. Whereas the Pacers, like when they lose, they turn around and go, all right, that was fucking cool. Check this out. Bang! How do you like that? Like you think about, so Game 3, they lose at home to the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. They turn around in Game 4 and win that by 9. They lose Game 5 against the Knicks by a lot and then turn around and beat the Knicks by 17 in the deciding Game 6 as well. So the Pacers, all they do is defy expectations. So I feel like they're still going to be my pick. With the caveat of like, if you, like I feel like OKC wins Game 5, but it's a close one. And I just don't ever want to underestimate this Pacers team ever. Like, it's just stupid. We saw Oklahoma City kick the crap out of them by 16 in game 2, but that came after OKC lost game 1, right? So backs against the wall, we're at home, we have to fucking win this. Eye of the tiger, all that sort of shit. This one is just like Indy is so well coached by Rick Carlisle. They know what to do. They know how to sort of just get into OKC's head. The problem is OKC fucking got right into their head. I'm up inside you in the end of that fourth quarter on that 12-1 run. Just fucked them up, including the SGA push-off and bullshit foul. But either way, I think I'm going to go Indy plus 9.5 for this game. With the caveat, though, if you think that OKC can just do the thing where they hit a bunch of threes out of fucking nowhere this time and run right over the top of the Pacers, which could very well happen. We've talked about this time and time again when it comes to the Thunder. Just go for that then. You go minus 15.5, minus 16.5 if you just basically think they can smash them. So it could definitely well happen. But we're going to take Indy plus 9.5, and we'll probably still go the under because even though the Pacers sort of turn around and go, check this out, we're going to score a shit ton of points, it's really fucking hard to do that against the Thunder, right? So I think the most that the Pacers have scored all series is 116, and that was in game 3. So, yeah, we're probably still going to go the under in this one. Right. Unless you do think, again, you could probably go the over if you think OKC smash them and like ring up like 140 on them. But yeah, I can't quite see that happen. I'd probably just go the OKC team total in that point. Right, as for the players, what do we expect to happen in Game 5? I expect a really big SGA game again. It's just what he does. It was interesting to sort of see him and J-Dub get into the two-man game to try to switch Naismith and Nembhard around off SGA because Nembhard is just in SGA shit. He's just full-blown Canadian rival. I'm being sad you. And it's fucked SGA up until it didn't right down the stretch, and he actually hit some big shots. Had that 15 points in the fourth quarter. It was massive. But I feel like an SGA just masterclass could be on hand here. 35 plus? What do you think? I reckon he could do that. The assists are really interesting, though, because OKC are just not hitting any threes. They're just not hitting any shots. That obviously depresses his assist numbers. I feel like they hit a couple in this game, so I wouldn't mind going his at least 4 assists, going over that. And his rebounding numbers, I think he has a bit of a better rebounding game in this one, so 6 plus there. J-Dub at home. Look, his offense in Game 4 was really, 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 really good. The ancillary numbers, not as great, but still didn't hit a 3, I think. But I feel like the J-Dub at home threes will probably hit. And this is kind of like my thing for Game 5. I think OKC hit a couple of threes. I think J-Dub gets a couple of threes to go. Chet hits 1. Dort hits a couple. He only took 1 last game, but we're back at home. I think Dort hits a couple. Caruso, a couple of threes as well. He's like the only fucking bench dude that's vaguely reliable for the Thunder at the moment. But as we've hit on time and time and time again, so I feel like J-Dub, Chet, Dort, and Caruso, there's a couple of threes sort of flowing around. SJ gets his assist numbers. J-Dub gets his assist numbers over 5. And then you got to look at which of these, the Wheel of Fortune of Death role players could actually pop off for OKC, right? We're going to spin the wheel. Is it Aaron Wiggins hitting a couple of threes in this game? Is it Isaiah Joe hitting a couple of threes? Is it Cason Wallace actually hitting his first 3 of the fucking series? Like, is it Kenrick Williams coming on and just like going, hey, check this out, I'm still alive? My best guess is Wiggins has been rubbish these last couple of games. He goes back home. I think he could hit a couple. And I feel like you could also look at maybe Isaiah Joe hitting at least 2 as well. I think OKC understand that they need to really goose this offense. They can't fall into holes against Indy because at Indy, like their defense leads to their offense, right? We know that they love to get out and run. They're pulling the ball out of the basket and fucking running it, right? If you're hitting threes, it makes it a lot fucking harder for them to sort of get back and try to make made shots. Well, make transition buckets out of made shots. I think they'll be trying to goose this offense. I think Dort will be fucking launching. He's 11 of 18 from 3 in the finals, but he only took 1 last game, which is crazy. Caruso is averaging 15 and 4 rebounds in the series as well. So I think he hits a couple of threes, has at least 3 rebounds as well. Dort hits a couple of threes. Chet has a 15 and 10 game with a 3 in there as well and a block. J-Dub 25-5. That's almost his baseline. He's been really, really, really super solid. So, look, we made the joke about J-Dub being J-Dub because every second game he's shit. I don't think that happens here at home. Let's see what he can do. So, I feel like this is like the idea behind OKC getting to that 108 points sort of total of hitting a bunch of threes. I feel like the free throws will be down a little bit after all the grifting that happened in game 4, especially the just embarrassing bullshit at the end. So I think that's how the Thunder probably roll. For the Pacers, it's a little bit more difficult, right? They're on the road. Halliburton needs to have that absolute fuck you game that we saw in game 4 against the Knicks, right? The perfect game, the 32-15 assist, 0 turnover game. Can he do that again? I don't know. Yeah, 32, 12, and 15 with 0 turnovers. Just 4 steals. The perfect game. Can he do that against the OKC defense with just Dort living in his shit? Probably not. But if he can get that sort of 22, 9, and 11 that he had in game 3 against OKC, that'll give them a chance, right? So a 20, 10, and 8 should be your Halliburton baseline. Siakam, the 30-plus points, rebounds, assists. He's the most experienced dude on this roster. He's been there, done that, won a title. His rebounding numbers have been fan-fucking-tastic throughout these finals. He needs to take like that. And basically, they need to remember that he's on the fucking court when they can't get a bucket. In that fourth quarter, it was embarrassing that the Pacers couldn't fix that. So 30-plus points, rebounds, assists for Siakam. Miles Turner, can he buy a bucket, Jim? Yeah, nah. Yeah, I reckon Miles Turner is just... For all the giddy excitement that he gave us, like after a couple of those early games of the series, he's not been able to hit a fucking shot. It is brutal watching Miles Turner going, I'm afraid to shoot this, sir. If he can get 2 threes in this game, the Pacers are a real chance of winning it. Simple as that. 2 threes from Miles Turner. Look out. He did it in game 1. They win by 1 point. He got to a 15-9 with 3 blocks in that game, right? Since then, he had 16, 4, and 4, but went 1 of 5, 1 of 4, and then 0 of 6 from downtown. So in the last 3 games, he's gone 2 for 15 from 3. Surely he's got to fucking turn that around and hit a couple of shots. Come on. We believe in you, Miles Turner. 10 points, 2 plus 3s. Aaron Naismith, his 3 ball has been dropping as well. 2 plus 3s for him. 10 points, 6 rebounds is probably my Naismith look. Nemhard is 10, 4, 4. That's what he does. The scoring is always a little bit of a bonus with him, but the thing with Indy is if they get all of their starters in double figures, they're usually a really fucking good chance of winning it because you've still got Toppin coming off the bench. He could probably easily hit a couple of threes as well. He's attempted at least 5 in 3 of the 4 games so far in the finals. I think he goes for 2 more threes in this one too. The big question is do they get anything out of Benny Mathurin that doesn't involve submarining their fucking chances at the end of a game? Come on, Benny. We believe in you. I don't believe in you enough to put any money on that, but he could definitely help them get over the hump and win this game. TJ McConnell, 8+ points. He's always around that mark. On the road, a little bit more difficult. I'm probably going to steer clear of TJ. But Toppin 2 plus 3s, Nemhard 10, 4, and 4, Naismith 2 plus 3s, 10 and 6, Turner 2 plus 3s, 10 points. That's probably where we're going to land. So, yeah. It's going to be an absolute belter as well because I think the toughest part about doing a preview like this for Game 5 is looking at it and going, it's Game fucking 5 of the series. The changes are going to be small. Like, we've already seen the Thunder change their starting lineup a couple of times. The Hartenstein stuff is just, he might have a massive, massive, massive say in this game out of nowhere. And that might be the one thing you want to keep an eye on, like 10 points and 6 rebounds for Hartenstein, where the offense is sort of running through him a little bit because they're trying to figure out how to get SGA just not wearing himself down, not having Nemhard ruin his shit, basically getting him involved with Hartenstein a little bit more. But this is it. Like, there's just so few actual manipulations of the rotations that you can do, of like your game plan, all this sort of stuff. So it sort of just comes down to really who just holds their mettle and can actually do what they want to do in the final 3 minutes of a game. Indy could not in game 4, and OKC won. OKC just sort of stuck around despite not hitting any threes, fought and gritted and grinded their way. They scrapped and clawed their way back into the game and then snuck ahead. And that's how this is 2-2. So you're probably not going to see any dramatic swings, but you can sort of feel like OKC, if they hit some threes, they could be absolutely flying. We've seen Indy, if they hit some threes and limit their turnovers, they can win this game. The thing is, OKC at home, you know they're going to probably force a crap ton of turnovers in this game. And I feel like they just sneak out and win this one. But I'm still going to go Indy plus 9.5 with a slight little hedge of OKC at like minus 17.5 as well, just in case they blow them out. So there we go. But I think the big question is, like, was the NBA title decided in game 4? Yeah, nah, it wasn't. Because now we're at 2-2. It's a fresh series, a 3-game series. 2 of the games are at OKC. Did Indy lose the NBA title in game 4? Yeah, nah. No, they didn't. They didn't, right? Because all I want to do is never underestimate this Indiana Pacer team again. We saw them come from fucking absolutely nowhere against the Knicks, the Cavs, fucking everybody. Game 1 of this series, you just can't write them off. So, yeah, India's still got a chance. That's why I'm happy to go Indy plus 9.5 for game 5. And if they get their asses kicked, it's not going to be a giant surprise. But I just, in good conscience, can't go against the Pacers at this point. So there we go. All right. Was there anything else we wanted to hit on? Desmond Bane, is that a great trade for Orlando? Yeah, nah. Yes, I fucking love it. It's exactly what they need. And did Memphis, was it an overpay? Yeah, nah. Yeah, to a degree. Like if it's 3 first-rounders, do you feel better? Maybe. But it's also getting off the KCP money, who was dog shit for them last year. And maybe that's cost them an extra first-rounder as well, just to get off that money. I don't know. I kind of think it's fine. Like, it's not my money. It's not my draft picks. There's only so many times you can have a bunch of young dudes on a team like Orlando before you go, you know what? What are we doing? Like, oh no, we're not picking 18 next year, right? Instead, you might have a crack at a top 4 seed. I'd rather have a crack at the top 4 seed and a puncher's chance of making the finals. You think about Paolo, you think about Franz, you think about Bane and Suggs. This team is so young and so talented. I don't mind adding Bane to it. I just wish he was a little bit taller. The thing is, they might want to also cut a little bit of payroll here and there, but also, maybe I'm still saying, you can still bring in Chris Paul on the minimum. Bring him in. Sort this out. Put Anthony Black through the Chris Paul school of point guardery. Go on. Make it happen. All right, and I think that might do us, though, for today. What a day it was. That was a lot of talking without much stopping. So, well, we'll be back on deck tomorrow for a Game 5 wrap for the NBA Finals. How good is that? I can't bloody wait. We will also have a great moment in NBA Australia stat history tomorrow because it was, I think, the anniversary of Patty Mills' awesome 2014 NBA Finals run. So we'll talk about that at length tomorrow. But in the meantime, remember you can follow all the vibes, all the picks, everything that I just sort of laid out for you then over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya. Tell them Jim sent you. You can sign up using the link in our show description or the link in our bio. You can also shout us a beer or shout us a coffee at the link in our bio as well. Anything would be appreciated. Love you guts. All the legends who have already signed up, appreciate you. Otherwise, we will be back on deck tomorrow morning for a playoffs in a finals in a minute video. So make sure you're following NBA Australia on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Jump all over that. Send us through DMs for yeah, nahs, anything you want me to cover off. Shout out. Be much appreciated. I need all the help I can get. And chuck us a rating review on your podcast app. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, all that sort of stuff. Whatever app you use on your Android phone. Rate, review, star would be much appreciated as well. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song, as well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Househats, Fascinated, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear, so smash them all on Apple Music, Spotify, NBA Australia Sports Stream Band, so should you. And that is it. Before my voice goes, I better get out of here and go pick up the squid. So we will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads, for first finals in a minute before Game 5, and then a show after Game 5. We'll see you then. All right, this is NBA Australia saying look after yourselves, would ya? And go the Rock Dogs! G'day legends, your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Australia, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Australia, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?